According to Mythos, 100% of you are subscribed. Good job! The Divergent universe is home to a lot of my favorite thematics within video games. It has a roguelike aesthetic, making every run feel new and unique. It allows you to playtest your characters in ways that you wouldn't really be normally able to within regular gameplay. But most importantly, it has a lot of obscure, well-hidden lore. We've seen that through the equations, but also through the curios, which is what we're going to be covering here today. In this video, we're going to go through every single 1-star curio and negative curio that can be found within the Protean Hero. As always, at the very beginning, you'll be able to see the entire lore of the curio, so if you wish to pause and read it for yourself, you're more than welcome to do so. And shortly after, I'll begin reading it for you so you don't have to. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let us move forward. Black Hole Sugar Maker. Genius Society member number 3, Neolemon, once recreated a black hole in her laboratory, and people speculated she was seeking the essence of nihility. 3 weeks later, she modified the synthetic black hole into a cotton candy machine that automatically dispenses sweets to passing children, which led onlookers to suspect her true study was voracity. The fools offered a simpler hypothesis. Perhaps she was just curious about what a black hole might taste like. In the end, she made far too much for one person to ever eat alone. Okay, this is one of the first curios I'm reading again after a long time, and I really love the silliness of this. Just, I like the idea of people expecting a lot from a member of the Genius Society, but she could have just done it for the sake of, ooh, cotton candy. Funny, I do like people going on with little theories, trying to suspect a grander scheme, but it could just be anything, and I love that. Dance of the Scorching Sun. While other city-states were still chopping wood and kindling fires, the followers of Aquila had already mastered an inexhaustible energy source. The small yet formidable altar known as the Dance of Scorching Sun could directly absorb the energy in sunlight and lightning, radiating heat intense enough to melt ice and snow within a 5-kilometer radius. Its brilliance was so blinding that even Orynyx's night veil recoiled before it. Under its protection, multiple city-states rose from barren lands, transforming even the most desolate regions into thriving havens. But that was before the Dance of the Scorching Sun was extinguished. Now, those once prosperous cities stand as lifeless ruins, echoes of a bygone era. Okay, this one's a little bit interesting because I was genuinely confused by it because I thought it was the pillars that we see through Alchema that sort of light up the rooms that you're in and provide energy. But no, these are completely different, and they've all died by now. That's a little bit intriguing, I'm not gonna lie. Darksea Bait Chunks. The Astral Ecology School's work on Shattered Starbait yielded a new substance that had an enticing effect on void-song whales and other large creatures. This innovation propelled the advancement of space whaling industry, accelerating ecological deterioration. According to unreliable sources, the IPC had originally planned to use it to lure Luxbane, until relevant personnel discovered during a large-scale experiment that humans were also attracted to it. So I really like this curio because, hey, Luxbane mentioned, therefore more Lord Ravager lore incoming. I mainly just like the fact that this, since this is a star bait that is commonly used for Leviathans, it sort of reinforces what's already in the databank, where it says that Luxbane is believed to be like a descendant of like a Leviathan species or something like that. So it's kind of nice to see how they're tying that in with the original curio that mentions how it was used to hunt down Leviathans. Dragon Bone Shield. Skiana is a small coastal city on the fringes of Amphoreus, long plagued by sea beast attacks. Eventually, under the leadership of a heroic captain, the city repelled the creatures and even recovered a severed limb from one of them. The remains were dragged back to the city. Though its flesh had rotted away, the bones were as hard as iron and as smooth as jade. The city's most skilled craftspeople ground the bones into shields, impervious to blades and spears, bringing great fame to the island. But with fame came war. The Kremnoans set their sight on these divine armors, and in the end, even the shields could not withstand their spears. Damn, that just sucks for them. I mean, yeah, Castrum Kremnos is just so powerful. They literally broke through what was believed to be like impenetrable shields. That is good credit for them. Honestly, pop off kings. Express Fragment Memorial Plaque. A legend circulates in the city of Okima. A falling star descended into the abyss of fate, bringing with it a deliverer from beyond the sky. The priests and treasure hunters searched the area, finding meteorite fragments scattered everywhere. They collected these pieces to craft talismans, believing that one day they would help people break free from the shackles of destiny. Some say this story was fabricated by Sagurus's followers. How could a celestial meteor be so easily refined? Yet, even if the material of these pendants isn't genuine, the spirit dwelling within them holds real power. Okay, now, this one might just be one of my favorite ones because we are literally involved with this. We had to exist in order to bring this Curio into real life. Because that is part of the literal express card with which Dan Hung and us like crashed in. And that is so funny, but like yeah, like at that point it's just like they're not wrong, but they're spinning a high tale, a high epic, you know, which is very fitting for like Greek mythology. And I love that. But at the same time it's like it's kind of crazy that this is so like recent in history as opposed to every other Curio that's like, oh, way back in the past. But I love it. The Eye of the Overseer. During Ceridra's reign, faith in Talanton flourished like never before. Many people took it upon themselves to crack down on law violations, begging Talanton to pass judgment on all sorts of trivial matters. But the scales of justice rarely responded. It was then that the Eye of the Overseer came into being. It could record sights and sounds to help courts reach verdicts, and could only be used by true believers of Talanton. Before the Flame Chase journey began, all eyes of the Overseer were destroyed. As too many people discovered, they weren't true believers of Talanton after all. Okay, now this one I'm a little bit confused by because I don't understand if the concept is, oh, like people realized it was too much work, so they decided that, oh, yeah, no, we don't really believe in that anymore, and then just abandoned it. That's what I'm assuming it says, but I don't know. Featherlight Inscription. Planet Nikota has complex and solemn funeral traditions. Residents hold grand ceremonies for the deceased, and the government has laws prohibiting the desecration of tombstones. As time passed, the planet gradually became occupied by tombstones, leaving less and less living space for the living. Masked fool Yurima lived on Nikota for 40 years, attending thousands of funerals where guests would weep endlessly with no hint of joy. So, he planned a special funeral for himself. In front of everyone, his tombstone sprouted thrusters and soared into the sky to pounding beats, the exhaust flames burning an epitaph into the grass. Oh, come on, smile. Isn't it vast out there? So honestly, that is just so on brand for a masked fool, and I love the concept of it. I was so confused as to why there was a tombstone with rocket thrusters when I saw the image. Reading all this and realizing it's all just a joke that this guy wanted to play. Absolute cinema. Love it. Green Miracle. Argus lies to the south of Dolos, a land perpetually tormented by drought, where sand dominates the terrain. A compassionate traveler passing through decides to seek plants from Circes that could transform the desert. After countless hardships, he finally obtained a blessed seed from Circes. Yet, it perished in dust before it could ever sprout. In this moment of despair, the traveler discovered that he himself was the one truly blessed. And so, he sowed himself into the earth. They say that to this day, he's still growing in the oasis. Huh. This is, I don't know how to feel about this one. It is dark. The fact that, he thought he had a cure, but not really. And then it is through his sacrifice that everything gets to be rejuvenated again. That's what I'm understanding, but I'm actually not sure. Loveless Dust. In the hidden alleyways of every city-state, there are always vendors peddling Titan's blessings, like death experience pills, elixirs of wisdom, and honeyed tongue oils. That blasphemous scale dust is also one of the products. Merchants claim that it takes 100 golden butterflies to produce a single pouch of the insect scale dust. Once applied to the eyes, even the most wrinkled old woman appears as a walking incarnation of Menestia. Given the bizarre social incidents this powder has caused, most city-states have classified it as a banned substance. Quiz with no prize. A notebook of quizzes that once circulated on a small scale on the Herta space station. Parts of it were copied from Herta's childhood notebook. Just opening it will leave the reader stunned with incomprehensible numbers and formulas and inflict prolonged self-doubt. It's rumored that any researcher who can independently solve a single question in the book will receive the chance to converse face-to-face with the great Madame Herta. Though no one had been able to verify that rumor to date, this book was still sold out in seconds thanks to the fans and became a legendary collector's tome that has gone out of print. I always forget that the Herta has a lot of fans. That she's essentially a celebrity within Herta Space Station. It makes sense, but my brain forgets. Sage's Leaf Robe. A sage must wear a beard. No one knows which sage from the Grove of Epiphany first proposed this idea, but it quickly gained enthusiastic support. Soon, sages were adorning their sparse chin with gathered twigs and leaves. That meeting of the sages ended with joyous laughter, and the robes made from the branches and leaves became their official attire. It is said that under Circe's witness, these robes would sprout new leaves as wisdom grows, just like a beard would. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm the only one thinking this, but wouldn't those, robes be kind of uncomfy? Having leaves growing in your robe? Just I don't know. Sleep and death. Idonia believes that sleep is a rehearsal for death, so its residents place extreme importance on sleep quality. Here, you'll find the most comfortable blankets and pillows, as well as a miraculous sleep aid device. This device can quickly induce deep sleep. So deep that it's almost akin to a state of death. However, caution is advised. While highly effective in treating insomnia, the user must be awakened after 8 hours. Otherwise, the only thing left to prepare will be their funeral. You know, as someone that struggles to get sleep, this sounded so nice and so lovely until they were like, oh, by the way, if you go over the allotted time, you die. What the hell? Transform. A watch with transformation function. Originally an official merchandise from the Super Ninja Squad. In this collaboration with Cosmic Ninjutsu inscriptions, where Nightblade warriors would shout bizarre ninjutsu names and transform under the cover of smoke. That was until a fool infiltrated the production line and imbued the device with genuine transformation function, turning it into an extremely dangerous item. To this day, all units have been sealed away in storage. You know, when I first saw this Curio, I hadn't done yet the whole storyline for 3.7, I think, whenever the Dahlia came out. So I saw this, and I saw the new, you know, like Swarm Disaster Sam suit. I don't remember his name right now, but my brain was just like, clearly this is connected to that boss. I was then betrayed by this, because it's actually related to the Cosmic Ninjutsu inscriptions shenanigans. So it would be like something Rappa probably would love to buy, which is kind of cool. Quantum Lotto, because I missed it last time I did a video on this. After the astounding success of the Interastral Big Lotto, the Business Consolidation Department struck while the iron was hot and issued the classic Quantum Big Lotto, riding on the hype of the Big Lotto's extrapolation and predictions. To solve this eternal question in probability and to obtain information about fortune in pure randomness, the number of students enrolling in the Quantum History School had once exceeded the peak level before their reformation. Though there would often be scholars who claim they've successfully made a model of the Quantum Big Lotto strand, they would unanimously change their tone the day before their thesis is published. That their so-called discovery is just a misunderstanding. Arena of the Strong. The outside world often sees the Kremnoans as nothing more than a band of war-hardened brutes. In truth, they indulge in a variety of recreational activities during peacetime, none more iconic than Feather Steel Ball. This sport requires players to hurl metal balls with great force, earning points by striking critical areas of their opponents. While beginners frequently suffer from severe fractures, those who endure thousands of hits during training develop bodies tougher than steel. The Kremnoans once attempted to introduce the sport to their occupied territories, but it was ultimately abandoned due to an unacceptably high fatality rate. Okay, wait, like, this is not what I expected when I saw Arena of the Strong as the name of the Curio, but just the fact that this game is essentially a hot potato that hurts a lot because it's made out of pure steel and these individuals are just so tough is so funny, but so horrifying. I really love this Curio and the implications of it. Beastmaster's Rein Wheel. Still struggling to pass that Roma's riding exam? Why not try this Giorio's Blessed Rein Wheel? Crafted with the secret techniques of the era Chrysia and designed ergonomically for a firm grip, it is plug and play, allowing you to effortlessly control anything with 4 legs, be it a dromas, a carriage, or even a table. Friendly reminder, due to the overwhelming power of Giorio's blessing, be sure to hold on tight and control your speed while using it. I feel like I just read an ad read for like, just, oh my god. Joystream TV. The inventor of the Joystream TV proclaimed it was the greatest invention ever, comparing it to a beacon of light in the dark, providing some entertainment to mundane stretches of daily life. But why should it just be a little bit? Entertainment should be life itself. With a simple click of the remote, even supergalactic explosions could be turned into entertainment shows. However, this marketing strategy proved disastrously short-sighted. By the time the IPC completed its risk assessment, it was too late. Joystream TV had caused nearly 100 worlds to regress into primitive societies, their inhabitants hopelessly mesmerized by their screens. You know, of course it had to be the IPC that were like, ooh, money, entertainment, funny shenanigans. And they would mess things up. But I do love the fact that they didn't do it on purpose. They actually did some like safety risk, assessment, but they still messed up massively. So that's really funny. I do have to say, I'm surprised this is not related to Dr. Primitive, given, the implications of what this did. The Sky High Model Series. Some people remain bound to the earth beneath their feet, while others yearn for the sky above. Vanay was one of the latter, a cotton candy maker from Bulsa. He once attempted to launch himself into the heavens, using 10 rockets filled with concentrated syrup and a simple folding stool. On the day of launch, the entire city, king included, gathered to witness the spectacle. His apprentices pleaded with him to abandon the attempt, warning that any act of defying the sky would surely invoke the wrath of Aquila. But their worries proved unnecessary. Vanay barely lifted a few meters before the syrup melted away, exposed to the intense heat of the flames. The Swarm Videotape. Overwhelmed with excitement, Ishida is in the final round of the Cosmic Horror Film Marathon Championship. All he needs to do is to finish watching this old, sealed videotape. Then he'll win the championship title and 10 million credits. Blood, severed limbs, and phantoms. These terrifying images are laughable to him, a veteran of horror films. However, his laughter freezes. The scene before him makes his adrenaline surge. His muscles shudder, and he screams for help. By the time the organizers arrive, Ishida has vanished, replaced by a starving swarm insect. I'm sorry, what? Now, here's the thing, I'm not sure if the bug ate him and it came from there, or if he transformed into the swarm bug itself. But it's kind of interesting, because if he got transformed into it, that just means he got Franz Kafka'd, and that is honestly just wow. And yeah, with that, we have gone through every single 1-star curio as well as negative curio that has been added within the Protean Hero chapter. As always, if you enjoyed this sort of content and you would like to see more, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It's free, it only takes a second, and if at any point you want to unsubscribe, you're always welcome to do so. In this channel, we have already covered every single curio that came out from the regular simulated universe all the way up to the human comedy. So they're on the playlist. If you want to check them out, feel free to do so. There's also the whole Equation series, which is also even more lore, which is great. We love lore in this household. With all of that being said, I want to say real quick, thank you so much to everybody that has been watching the videos that have been releasing these past few days. It's been so wonderful getting to talk to you guys, interact with you guys in the comments. I have missed this, and seeing the welcome back messages genuinely warms my heart. It's been lovely. You all are just wild. I mean, I was gone for a whole year pretty much, and you guys still are like remembering me. Like, I thought I had just disappeared into a sea of butterflies and nobody would like. I would just be starting again from scratch. But no, people actually do, and it's like, boom. I'm yapping a lot, but it's just because I just want to say I am thankful for you guys. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching all the way up to this point into the video. I'll see you all tomorrow with the 2-star curios. And yeah, I hope you're having a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time zone you're currently watching this video at. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.